Okay, there you go. All right, so back to this. Our next topic or our next assignment is research and strategy, and we're going to go through that in depth. And it's a big assignment, assignment. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys on this next assignment because it's a big step in the research and strategy and getting ready for UX. So I'm looking forward to walking everybody through that. All right, so let's get into today's agenda. So, as usual, the class will be recorded and we will be taking a break anywhere around 2:33. Again, I'm giving extra credit for participation and cameras on. I know not always everybody can turn their camera on. I completely understand that, but it is, again, highly encouraged. We use our chat for comments, questions, and shares. And I'm going to do a quick recap of the web design process, which was the lecture last Wednesday. Then we're going to break out and we're going to do our creative questionnaire session. And so we're going to break out into teams or just a breakout room, whatever's easiest. It may just be the breakout room like the way that we did last week. And then finally, we're going to go over the next assignment, like I mentioned, which is research and strategy. Good? Any questions before we move on? Nope. All right. So, Hillman Curtis. Hillman Curtis has been around for quite some time. He is a designer. He's a designer that whenever I was a student, I used to really appreciate like his approach and his strategy and his process. And I really like this quote from him. Design isn't about making something look better. It's about moving someone to action. That is just so appropriate for what we're doing. And whether it's the two assignments, right? The two projects, the two projects, whether it's our corporate website or the e-commerce, you will be identifying what it is that we're moving someone, your audience, to do. Like you're going to be defining that. And the first phase of that is the first assignment, which is the creative questionnaire to help you start identifying what is the action of your audience. So I think, keep that in mind always. That's why this quote's super important. That is one of our main focuses. Yes, you want to design something that you like, that's aesthetically pleasing, that's also on point to the brand. But the most important thing is we're moving people to action. So I did make some updates to the teams because we had some people drop and we had some new people. So I did send an update, I believe last week. It might have been even Thursday or something like that. Thursday, Friday, I made an update on Canvas and I sent it out as a update. So, please make sure this is the updated teams. And to kind of reflect on what I mentioned from day one is the purpose of teams is because this is a real world type of scenario that I would say 99% of the time you are never working alone. You're just not. So the purpose of the teams is that you have a consistent group that is your team that you can kind of go to and you can collaborate with. Also, to echo, because I keep having conversations about this, it is not a group assignment. You are not doing a group assignment. These are individual assignments. You are assigned to a team to collaborate, to work as a team. And we will be changing these. We'll be changing these throughout each project or maybe throughout the project. Just kind of depends on the dynamic of the class. But the purpose of the team is just like if you're at an agency and you had your own assignment on a project, but you have a team that you're assigned to. It's the same thing. It's the same thing if you're at an agency or somewhere else. So these are real world scenarios. Questions? Any more questions that I need to clarify around that? No? Good. Good. Everybody gets it. Good. All right, so I pulled this one out because it does piggyback last week's conversation a little bit. And let's see, I believe Carl, remember we were talking about how there's always so many problems, right? So even in this very standard design process that I kind of pulled from some research that I did, this is kind of a typical design process along with our web design process. So you look at a basic design process, right? You're identifying the problem. And then once you're identifying the problem, you're kind of researching the problem. And our next, most of the time, our next step is to ideate possible solutions. So then once you kind of ideate possible solutions, you're evaluating and selecting a solution. That's exactly what we're doing in this class, right? We're going through these steps. Then, you're going to create a prototype. Prototypes, right? Those are sketches. Those are wireframes. They could just be a template site, like a Squarespace site. If it's a small site and you truly can kind of skip the wireframe stage, which, you're not there yet, the prototype is definitely more around that UX phase. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the update. Next is you want to test and troubleshoot your prototype. Then you want to improve on it. And then you want to test it again and troubleshoot. And then once you kind of get through as many of those as possible, which who knows, it might be several times, it might be a dozen times, depending on how big the project is, you may end up going through this test and troubleshoot and improve phase. It may take you months and months, depending on the size of the project, to get through this before you even launch. So it's not, there is no tried and true or specific steps. It's just you're going to test, troubleshoot, and improve until you and your team have evaluated that you met your deadline and it's time to launch. But guess what? The great thing about websites, you can launch it and then test and improve again, which is the wonderful thing about digital versus print. Because once you print, that's it. It's done. So I always say that we have a great advantage of being digital designers and in this digital field, that when it comes to mobile apps and websites, you truly can launch something. And then if you find you need to test and improve on something, you can do that. And you can do it pretty quickly, depending on your CMS. Does anybody know what CMS means? Nope. Okay. Content Management System. Write that down, please. CMS, Content Management System. That is an industry term. Basically, it is the back end of a website. It's where it's like if you're on Squarespace or Webflow, and I'll show you examples of that. The CMS is what you're doing in like Squarespace, behind the lines, behind the scene, and you're actually building the website in the CMS, in the Squarespace content management system. And then what they do is they allow you to hide things or, disable like items and pages until you're ready to launch it. So your CMS, your content management system, is a common term in our industry for, the back end of building and managing, basically managing your website. So, questions? No? All right. Okay, so we're going to do a quick recap of our last week's lecture, web design process. Excuse me. We mentioned the web design process involves several key stages, each essential for creating a successful website. This process ensures that the final product is user-friendly, visually appealing, and functional. We use that term product, and I'm not sure if anybody has kind of looked out there in the industry and seen there's a different title used within our industry, especially in the digital realm, that most of the time what you'll see is you will never see in digital the title graphic designer. Okay? You will see titles as visual designer or an interaction designer or a product designer. And I just touch on that because Bradford used that term, final product, because most of the time, let's say in apps like Instagram, they use, like apps like that, they use that term product design quite a bit. Google uses the term product design. Meta uses product design quite a bit. So there are very specific characteristics behind each title whenever it comes to a visual designer, an interaction designer, and a product designer. And we can kind of dive a little bit more into that maybe later on in the class, but I just wanted to sort of call that out. We talked about 5 different phases of our process: discover, plan, design, develop, and optimize. Phase 1, discover, was the discovery phase, which focuses on understanding the project's goals, target audience, and the overall context in which the website will operate. This step gathers the essential information that will guide all subsequent decisions. So this is like our strategy phase. So what we're doing in this phase is we're doing qualitative research. We may be putting together design briefs or creative briefs. And we'll also be doing competitive analysis in creating personas. Phase 2, or planning phase. The planning phase involves laying out the structure and strategy for the website. This step includes defining the site's architecture, creating wireframes, and planning how content will be organized and presented. This is mostly the user experience phase, UX phase. So some of the things that we cover in the planning phase are site maps, user flows or flowcharts, sketching, and wireframing. We also pointed out the connection between user flows and personas, that most of the time, when we have created multiple personas for a website, we will also create multiple user flows. And it goes back to Hillman Curtis's quote, it's to define an action. Each persona could have a slightly different action within the website, whether it could be, if it's a corporate website, to contact, or just to gather information, or just to research, depending on what type of persona you've identified. So it's really important to identify at least 3 personas and put together individual user flows based off those personas. Phase 3, this is the one most people get excited about. And I did update this. I don't know if everyone saw it last week after we noticed there was the same explanation. So design. The goal of user interface, or UI design, is to create interfaces that are visually appealing and facilitate effortless interaction and accessibility for users. A good interface should make the user experience intuitive, efficient, and satisfying. So when we're getting into design, we create multiple mock-ups. Most of the time, we're kind of getting into more of what we call a high fidelity mock-up. We also talked about in the previous phase, when you're going through the wireframing, we're usually creating different variations of mock-ups or wireframes. We're doing low fidelity, medium fidelity, and also high fidelity. I mentioned low fidelity for me is usually sketches, like we saw. It's usually a drawn, like a true drawn out wireframe. And then a medium fidelity wireframe is usually just something real black and white. And then a high fidelity wireframe can start including just a more polished look, whether or not you're including certain colors to identify actions. But our high fidelity mock-up is a true design that now what you're doing is you're really kind of bringing in the design elements, the brand elements that have been established, the typography that's been established, color palettes that's been established, photography, design elements, illustrations, all of these different brand elements that you've established up front. And we also talked about what a UI kit and the benefits around doing a UI kit, and whether or not you start working on a UI kit before you do mock-ups or vice versa. There's pros and cons with both of them. There could be a pro with starting just your design and then creating your UI kit based off the design, or creating the UI kit first so your developers can start building the main components of the website. They don't have to wait for final designs of these pages, and they can go ahead and get certain items built out, like getting style sheets that include your text styles, your paragraph styles, maybe your primary buttons, your overall font family. Also, they can establish the color palette. They could even possibly establish the main navigation up at the top and the footer. So there are benefits of starting those UI kits first. Did somebody raise their hand, Sam? Okay, gotcha. All right, any questions about that? No? All right, good. Phase 4, develop. In the development phase, the visual designs are transformed into a functional website. This step involves coding the site, ensuring responsiveness, and integrating any necessary tools or features. Actually, I want to step back for one thing and touch on a topic that we did touch on, I believe, in the first lecture. And remember how we mentioned mobile first. Can somebody, or I'm going to call somebody out, can somebody tell me again what mobile first means and why we would approach a website with a mobile first process? Joshua.
Oh.
Joshua, go ahead. I saw you raised your hand right before somebody was speaking up. So whoever was speaking up, I'll give you a chance to speak up as well after Joshua.
It was Maya Carey.
What's that?
It was Maya Carey.
Okay.
Is my audio working?
Yeah, it is. It sounds great.
Okay, perfect. Because I got a new laptop. Okay.
Well, you got a really nice microphone. So yeah, we can
Oh,
hear.
thank you. All right. So anyway, why mobile first is because a lot of people, especially in this day and age, we use our phones every single day. Not everybody has access to a laptop, more so a smartphone. It's more, smartphones are more common.
Mhm.
And because it's like everywhere, it's like a Swiss Army knife. You carry it everywhere. You can do a lot of things with it. And they're going to be visiting your website on their phone more than on a laptop. It's a lot more accessible that way. So that's why it's imperative to make a mobile design first that works and is clear and concise. That's very accessible too.
I love the main thing that you said in all of the absolutely correct things you said. You said one thing that stands out the most: accessible. Everybody put a pin on that. That's a really good one, Joshua. Is mobile first design and mobile first process. One of the primary attributes of that is accessibility to your audience. Great. Okay, so who was the other person that spoke up?
Hi, it was me.
Maya, okay, please,
Yeah.
you go for it.
I mean, he pretty much said it perfectly, but just like designing for the interface that most people are going to use right off the bat, which is in this day and age, like I'd say iPhones or phones in general.
Absolutely, yes. So you're both right. So one thing that we're again, I'm going to teach you real world situations here. Yes, Marie, you said it is a web development strategy that prioritizes design for smaller screens first, as phones are more commonly used. Absolutely. So one thing that we're going to promote here in this class and within the program is a mobile first approach. So when you're doing high fidelity designs, you absolutely have to do both designs. I require everybody to show a desktop version and a mobile version. And you will also have to do it in your wireframes. You're going to have to do a mobile version and a desktop version. All right? Because it's all about what we just talked about. We're approaching within a mobile first sort of philosophy because of accessibility, but it also makes you think responsive. We're going to get to a lecture that gets into responsive design. We also talked about it in the previous lectures a little bit, but there's a whole lecture on responsive design. And I'll save some of the things I'd like to talk about for that lecture. But, again, the purpose of doing a mobile wireframe or a mobile design and a desktop is to also show the responsiveness and to make sure that we're touching on mobile first process. All right, so develop. We talked about website specs. This was not a big section here, so sorry. Hold on one second there. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so we talked about website specs. Then phase 5, optimize. Optimize phase focuses on maintaining and improving the website after it has gone live. So this step ensures that the website remains up to date, functional, and aligns with the business goals. So this is the one that was freaking Dylan out. The A/B testing and how it's really important to do A/B testing, especially whenever it comes to, thinking about our personas and making sure that we are prioritizing our goals and our actions. So an example like this with Airbnb, this is a great example of doing some A/B testing where our main feature, there are several things within the main feature that are different. The top one is a bit more static. You just have, it's a focus on hosting and also what they call it, give me a second, what being a what do they call it whenever you teach something, do like a class, what do they call that in Airbnb? I'm looking it up on my phone right now. Trips. Let's see here. Let me look this up here real quick. Experiences. There you go. So Airbnb also offers not only a place to stay, but they also offer experiences. And so the thing that I like about the two differences here is the top one kind of shows, this person could be enjoying a place that they're staying at, but they could also be, interacting with one of these experiences. But it's real static because it just focuses on being a host, or and also you could be a teacher or an experienced person, and it just has a simple headline with subcopy and a call to action. Where the bottom one is far more interactive and engaging. It has interactive drop downs that you can immediately start getting in and getting started to be a host. So this type of A/B testing is very useful. Another thing that we had talked about in A/B testing is there's live A/B testing, especially in apps. I had mentioned in Instagram how you can have multiple accounts in Instagram, and you'll notice differences between your accounts with the interface. And it's because they're doing live A/B testing. So, all right, I'm going to pause for a second. See if we have any questions or any thoughts before we start digging into the next section, which I believe is the assignment. So, also, is everybody, whenever I post these, is everybody able to access these lectures and these presentations? Okay. Yes, yes, good, good. Okay, excellent. Thank you. All righty. Well, since there's no questions, we're going to move on to the assignment. So our project is corporate website redesign. Sorry, Marie, you said I can never hear the audio unless there isn't supposed to be any. Are you talking about in the presentation? No, there's no audio in the presentation. So yeah, you're okay. All right.
Oh, sorry. Does your audio do you upload it to something somewhere or?
You mean the recordings?
Yeah.
I haven't yet, but I can.
Okay.
So they're pretty big. Yeah. So if you guys want me to upload the recordings, I'm more than welcome to. It just I got to talk to Bradford and also Sean of where I should actually upload the recordings because I'm not quite sure where I would do that at. I don't know if Canvas can actually handle because most of the recordings are like 300 megs. They're huge. Yeah, real big. So. All right. YouTube. Yeah, that's a good idea, Bree. Let's see, YouTube video. Yeah, you and Dylan. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, that's what they already do. Bradford does.
Oh, they do. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So let's get into the assignment. The assignment is to do a creative questionnaire. This is the creative questionnaire that I provided. I had requested that everybody creates a duplicate of it and that you thoroughly flesh this out based off of your research and the company that you chose. So the creative questionnaire we talked about, it must be filled out thoughtfully as if you were the client and be free of spelling and grammatical errors. And it should outline the project goals, target audience, key messages, and specific requirements or preferences of the client. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to pause here. All right. So we are going to break out into the breakout rooms. It is 1:30. Hold on just a second. I gotta see where I do this again, the breakout rooms. Give me a second. Breakout rooms. Okay, good. All right. So I'm just gonna let this thing do an automatic breakout room because it'll take way too long for me to create the team breakout rooms, like to assign everybody. That will probably be a nightmare. So right now I'm just gonna let it automatically do the breakout room. This is a requirement, everyone. It is a requirement that everyone presents their creative questionnaire. It is a requirement that you participate, that you talk, that you engage, you give feedback, like you work together as teams to go through these and make sure that you're being supportive and positive. So I'm going to be bouncing in between the breakout rooms like I did last time, just to kind of hear what you're doing and measure sort of the level of participation. I also ask that one person from each breakout room be the timekeeper. So if we're I think it's going to be an average of like 5 people, probably. Maybe around like 5 people each breakout room. So I would assume that each person has like 10 minutes. Here's another thing that is important. It's important that you also, as a presenter, and trust me, like a lot of people deal with this. you keep track of your time. You're like while you're presenting, make sure that you're paying attention to your own time. And that also, let's make sure, I got to make sure that multiple people can share. So I'm hoping like we don't have any issues with sharing. Um, we're we were able to share last time, right? When we were in the breakout rooms. Is that right?
I think you
I
had
don't
to
think so.
Say that again, Bree.
It like wasn't working at first, but then I remember telling you, and then you like pressed something and it turned on.
So I just went ahead and did that. Okay. So I just went ahead and selected multiple participants can share simultaneously. So hopefully that'll fix it. So when you're in your breakout rooms, when the person is presenting, if you're having a hard time sharing your screen, then just talk through it, okay? It's better that you don't delay everything with, sort of the technical difficulties and that you just start presenting. So the person that is kind of the timekeeper, please make sure that, you're reminding your team that maybe give them like a certain 7 minute, hey, you've been doing it for 7 minutes, you got 3 minutes left. But please make sure that you're keeping track of time so everybody can present. All right? Should be pretty easy. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing real quick. I am going to breakout rooms, assign automatically. We're going to do, we got 26 people. Is that right? Here, is that what it says? All right, so if I did 5 breakout rooms, that should be about, yeah, that should be good. All right. I'm gonna do 5 breakout rooms. Let me just make sure. We're at 138. Let me just take a second here. And all right, 1 hour. We're just gonna round it up to 2:40. Okay. I'm gonna put it right here. 2:40 p.m. is when we're gonna end creative questionnaire session. Whoops. Oh, weird. Sorry. There you go. Okay. Ready and boom. Open all rooms. It's doing it. Bye. See you later.
Hey, Paul, are you there? White or blue, I guess. And this just doesn't give like oh that's a straight.
Yeah, like I would think black makes me think of like a cat.
Yes, yes, like some type of like situation, yes.
They look like floating heads.
have like, I mean, they've been in like the news and they've been, they have these awards and stuff. So they've obviously been very successful. Um, but it's like a very old school website, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so let me show you guys my other one. Hold on. Let me show you guys my Figma. Oh my gosh. Okay. And so this is what I have for them. HHJ, trial attorneys. Their business category is professional services. HHJ is a law firm for personal injury, like I said, and so they offer legal services for vehicle accidents, wrongful death, slip and fall, etc. And their main goal of their website is obviously to get consultations, right? Free consultations for possible new clients, and generate leads for people that need legal services. One of their specific problems or pain points on their current website that's not addressing, it's just like an outdated design and it's overall not really engaging. Um, to me specifically, I feel like it doesn't give the aspect of trust through that design. Like they don't look like they're, one of the leading law firms in San Diego right now through their website. And like I said, it's not even showing a logo. They don't have any brand colors and and too much information listed. And so the most important things to highlight would be like their legal services, the types of legal services they provide, their testimonials. I would say like an about section about the law firm and the attorneys themselves, and then awards and recognition. And then unique value points. They had it listed on there that they've had one of the biggest cases in San Diego for sexual abuse payout. And they've been very successful, and they obviously on their website they do show like they've had satisfied clients. And then they emphasize a lot that they speak Spanish on the website. So it made me think like they're specifically trying to target like a Latino audience as well. So who would be the target audience? I put 30 to 65 people in their 30s to 65 and need legal services after a personal injury, an ethnically diverse community, including Spanish-speaking clients. And then the tone and style of the website, I would say like professional, sleek, modern, engaging. And then, yeah, the most important thing would be to convey confidence, expertise, and like to welcome, people that need legal services. So yeah.
The-
Can I
Um,
add one in there?
Yes.
Approachable.
Yes, approachable. I put welcoming, but I was like, yeah, approachable is
Yeah.
probably your word.
And then can I ask you, as far as the age for their target audience, just why that range?
I would say, I mean, young people aren't usually like people in their 20s aren't usually trying to find legal representation. And I say 30 because I'm like, maybe that's the starting age where you might want to sue somebody or, go into some type of legal battle for like work-related issues or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, my concern was that young people aren't really looking for attorneys.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thanks for explaining that.
Hopefully that's right.
I will back that up by saying that I got into a car accident a couple years ago and I like in no way even thought about seeking like legal representation until my mom was like, "Oh, like call your uncle, he's an injury attorney." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I didn't even know that you could get like represented just for getting rear-ended. Like I actually got paid out from that."
Yeah.
So I would say you're like right in a way, but maybe there's some people that would if they're
Well, I fall in that age bracket because we were in an Uber, and an Uber rear-ended somebody in front of us, and we got paid.
oh,
Oh, see.
And we did talk to an attorney immediately. So
Yeah. And I think that it's kind of like going off that, like if we are being, as young people, as if we are being told to get legal representation, it's coming from somebody older than us and that, might know more than us legally. Um, but
So I'm
yeah,
gonna challenge you that I think you're kind of avoiding an untapped market.
mm, that's true.
So you're actually creating a problem. Well, you're identifying, like we said, the design process. You're identifying a problem,
Hmm.
but you're avoiding a solution.
Yeah. Okay, I see that.
So there's this account, or I'm sure you guys know what this is, but it's called Jubilee on YouTube, and they do just like a lot of cool random videos. But I've noticed that they do a lot of like their own in-house ads these days, and they have like friends or something that have just become like injury attorneys, and I feel like it's like they're doing really good at targeting like young audiences because the way that they do the commercials is just like comical, and then they're like, call our friend injury attorneys or whatever.
Mhm.
And
And the reason why I'm kind of saying that, and I'm definitely not down talking 20-year-olds, but that target audience might be easier to work with than somebody my age that, might have more complications
yeah,
or, there just might be more to deal
yeah,
with dealing with somebody that might be in their 40s and 50s versus somebody in their 20s. So I don't know, just saying, I think there's more of a don't avoid an opportunity for a certain market just because it hasn't already been done. You can say, hey, this is definitely an untapped market. Who knows? Who knows what you end up doing?
yeah. Yeah, and when now that we're saying that, they have a TikTok and an Instagram account as well,
Hmm.
where they do more like reels and like they
Mhm.
go over like past cases and then they ask their audience like, well, what do you think?
Yeah.
Um, so that is kind of like they're trying to tap into like a younger audience, but I mean they don't show that at all on their website at all.
Yeah. So
So,
there you
yeah, that's
go.
the point. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, good
And
job.
thank you.
For the social.
And then I don't know if you guys had any other comments of like what you guys might think which should be highlighted on their website or anything. Let me show it to you guys again.
I did kind of like their like carousel feature that they had.
On their like
On the-
their cases and stuff.
but I didn't like see it for that long, so I don't know how like good it actually was. But
I think it's when it comes to attorney, yeah, this one's just so bad, man. Of course, you got the little chat at the bottom right.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, so interact with that real quick.
Oh gosh, what if it's a real person?
I no, trust me, it's not. It's a bot. See, so they
Oh,
immediately go on free consultation or I have a question. Go ahead and click I have a question. Cool, yeah, of course.
sure.
So here's something that you should also identify, right?
Hmm.
Spanish or English.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's what I said. I even when on top of their website, that the fact that they have a little like Mexican
That's
flag.
good. So does that translate the entire website?
Let's see.
oh, that's cool.
That's kind of cool.
Kind of does, mostly.
Yeah,
Yeah, mostly.
that's kind of cool.
But now here's a user flaw. Now, what if you want to go back?
I was about to say, I was like, I don't know how to go
You
back.
have to click the back arrow. Click your back arrow on your browser.
Okay.
There you go. Some inconsistencies there.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this was super cool. The fact that they have like past cases they've done listed and then how much they won and like for what specifically. Um, they could get better photos of their clients,
I
but
actually think that I'm surprised they even put photos. I
yeah,
I I would think that actually is kind of a violation of somebody's personal like rights and their privacy.
yeah, who knows? I
But I
mean,
assume they probably got, they got their permission.
Yeah, it's either you have great photos of them or you shouldn't have photos of them at all, I think.
Yeah. They're
Usually
probably
it's
all fake
photo.
photos
Yeah,
anyway.
Maybe. Maybe they're either real or not, but
reverse image search it.
literally it comes on Google stock photos.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know how much time I had left, but
20 seconds.
oh, well, thank you very much, you guys.
Perfect.
Good job.
Stop sharing.
I'm going to jump to another breakout room, okay? Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
It's fixing. So
Hello,
I
sir.
just
Hi, everyone.
hello. Yeah, so like I was saying, yeah, I think it's a cool site to work on.
I do feel like those things that we talked about could be fixed on it and it could be brought to a better place. Like it could be more connected to like their message that they have on the website with coming together and getting rid of the dark stuff and all that. Like it's not designed well, but it's not designed horrible. It's just like I think it's nice for
It's
a
just
starter
it's
product.
mass.
I'm sharing my screen so that the professor can see as well, like which website we're talking about.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
All right, next up, Viridiana, do you want to share?
Yeah, I can share mine. Let me see if I can share.
How many people have presented already?
We've had 3 out of 5 people present already.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Right now, Viridiana is up.
All right.
Yeah, so I'd have to log off too if I want to share, but I'll send you guys in the chat
No, send me the link and I'll
and
check it out.
yeah, the link to my questionnaire as well.
All right.
So I'm doing a company called FP Complete, which is a software engineering company. Um The primary goal for this website is to showcase the services. And one of the specific problems with this website mainly is how outdated it is and maybe like the organized, like the whole layout of the website. What are the most important things that need to be highlighted? Oh no. What is their unique value proposition? FP stands out with its unique services offering um, personalized attention, and it's a mid-sized range company. Um, so yeah, who is your target audience? They focus on catering to businesses with specialized IT needs, looking for, again, tailored services or solutions, my bad. A tone or style that should the website convey? I'm thinking like a professional and innovative tone and style. Like I said, it's really outdated, so I really feel like it could use a modern touch to it. So, yeah. What is the most important action you want visitors to take on your website? I want visitors to take on like maybe like a schedule a consultation or get your tailored solutions. Action on this website, want to get them more clients. Um, and what emotional response do you want visitors to have when they visit your website? I want them to have a feeling of confidence, trust, empowerment, and some sort of excitement, maybe. But I think confidence and trust are like my main two. Um, so yeah, that's what I have so far.
Sounds good. Solid. Uh,
Did she drop the link? And
oh yeah, here I can share the website for everyone.
yeah, yeah.
Here, I'll share it.
The one on top, the fpcomplete.com. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I like their logo. I think the logo is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Sleek in design.
Yeah, this
Um,
is busy.
one moment here. They have animations.
It's
Very
fun,
dated.
but it's like my eyes are like,
Yeah, I don't know what to look at.
It's a little overwhelming, and it also bleeds with the hero page image as well, so that kind of makes it so it's hard to read.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a interesting website. Not
it's
gonna
like
lie.
acting, and I'm like confused. Like my first time through it, I was just like, I'm looking
And
at interesting things, but
and and what do they do again? I don't know if you mentioned it.
Uh, they're a software engineering company.
Okay, so I see
It
that for
looks like it was
sure.
put together by software engineers, for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
It looks like it's a template site to me that they probably bought and they just plugged in content.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah. It has just so many kind of generic
I feel
elements
like
going
that.
on. Like, yeah, it's wow.
Oh yeah, this drop down menu is like a little I don't like it too much. Like I can read it, but I'm not a fan of the colors.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
blue, like blues on blues and um,
hmm.
Blue on orange.
but yeah, this is a definitely would know that this is something futuristic, or it is what it is.
mhm.
Yeah, I guess that's like the best way to put it, but I feel like it's showing a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It is. It is pretty showy. I would
And
rather these three be a little bit more apart and
Yeah,
spread
because it's
out.
kind
But
of
it
cutting
also
off some of
doesn't
the
look mobile.
images.
Yeah, it doesn't look mobile friendly to me at all.
mm-mm.
Yeah,
No.
because I pull it up on my phone and it's worse than the
Oh
desktop
gosh.
website. So yeah, I think it needs some work for sure. I think it would be a good refresh to
I'm
deal with.
shocked they're not
Um,
trying to do any neon colors or anything. Like they're so going so basic blue orange. Like
Mhm.
this is not techie.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just
but
very generic.
I love neon colors, but at the same time, neon colors are so 2012.
2012 exactly.
Because Tron Legacy, or well, 2010. I don't know. I saw a lot of neon people with neon colors and styles going on. I might be wrong though.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the mobile version is not good for sure.
oh geez.
Okay,
All right.
well, I mean, there's lots of room for improvement here.
There is, yes.
Yep. Okay, well, thank
Um,
you. I'm going to jump to another team.
Wait, before you go, can I ask you for something real quick?
Mhm.
So I got your message and I was struggling to find any good like small businesses, but I did find this one. It's called Botanica, and their website is just really like I see what they're going for, but it's not that great. I don't know if you can see it.
We can't, it says you're started screen sharing.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, there's their website. This is one of my choices.
Okay.
The plant and ceramics shop. Well, plant shop and ceramics studio.
Mm-hmm.
Plant and ceramics vintage.
Yeah.
All in one location.
And they got nice photography, but yeah, it's very light. It's I mean, I understand why they're going with the colors, but like right in here, you can't even read the typography.
No, it's just very hard to read in general.
Yeah, it's hard to read in general. It's kind of blocky.
It is,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but the photography's good.
Yeah, they have really good photography. It's
Yeah.
just like the structure can use a lot of
Mhm.
work.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as absolutely, like this is a good choice because it's not, you're not going to be doing any like major heavy lifting with content.
All right,
So
perfect.
yeah, this is definitely a good
All right,
choice.
thank you. I'll get started on the creative questionnaire for this
All right, sounds good.
because I didn't get to do it.
Sounds good. Thank
All
you.
right, go
I'm going
ahead.
to jump to the other one.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
You bet.
Pe- Oh, and one of the most important actions I want visitors to take is to take a look at those articles that the website provides. And lastly, the emotional response I would like the visitors to have is reassurance, confidence, and also intelligent. And that's it.
Ezekiel, can you tell me what the name of your company is?
National Institutes of Health.
Well, excellent. Yes, I remember you saying that you want to do a type of healthcare, I believe, right?
Yes.
Good, good.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like stock imagery on the site. There's like those little squares. So
Can someone share the website so I can see it too?
Links in the chat.
Can somebody share their screen?
Oh,
Because I don't have access to your
okay.
chat.
Okay.
There you go. Excellent. Thank you so much. Ooh, wow. Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, this is pretty bad.
Yeah, I agree that an FAQ page would be really helpful because like they do have a lot of content. So maybe like highlighting the most important questions or like the most information, like having that somewhere on the page would be helpful for the users.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of like stock imagery going on too.
yeah,
It's
and
just
just
like
like
Yeah.
grammatical one too. So I feel you on like trying to make it look more trustworthy. Um,
Yeah,
because
and it also looks a little busy too. Like there's so much pop so much into it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Do you think you're gonna stick with the same like color palette or like you would change that as well?
I do like this color palette a
Mm,
bit. I can
mhm,
try incorporating some other ones, but
mm,
overall, I think I would stick to this color palette.
mhm,
you said
I'll challenge that just a little bit, Ezekiel, is to do some research whenever, because when you think of health, right? Um, it's all about people and people helping people. And the blue color becomes so cold. It's so cold and it's it is very corporate looking, which even though this falls within a corporate website, healthcare is more about people. And I really, I like some of the people photography on here, especially the first one in this feature carousel. That feels a lot warmer, not this one, but okay, maybe it's the second one where it's a group of people. Yeah, this one. You see the warm color palette. I mean, there's blues in it, which is great, but there's also kind of some warm colors in there, some light off whites and things like that. So just kind of consider that as well.
Use a warmer palette for the website.
It's a consideration.
Okay.
Just because blue is not very, it's very sterile.
I see.
Yep. So excellent. Good job.
Thank you.
Who else has presented in this team?
we actually all just presented.
Wow,
We're done.
you guys are okay. You guys,
Oh, I do have a question about mine. Is it
good.
okay if I like pull mine up?
Please do. Yeah,
Okay.
please do.
Yeah, 1 second while I share my
Mhm.
screen. Um, oh shoot. For some reason my
Take your time.
Zoom. Allow Zoom.
While you're doing that, I'm going to ask everybody or later on, how do you guys normally submit work to the other instructors?
Through Canvas.
Is it just through
They'll create
Canvas?
an assignment and then there will be a submission area and then we upload our files there.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Mara, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mara.
Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I chose the my local sandwich shop. I think I mentioned this
Yes.
last week. Yeah. But yeah, definitely
You're gonna get some free sandwiches for life.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of work I want to do with it because it's like very bare bones. There's like distorted, pixelated images. And their about page is still from like the templated Wix site. So it's like this isn't even their team. Yeah, so it's just like like a random tech team.
I was
I
like,
think
everybody looks so polished.
yeah. Yeah, so I definitely want to like highlight their story. And yeah, what I feel like what makes this shop special, especially around my area, is that it's not like a typical like food chain like Subway or Jersey Mike's. It's like a mom and pop shop and they've been around for years and it's owned by like an old Vietnamese couple.
Yeah.
So it really gives that like homey feel. So I kind of want to like exude that energy, but also kind of make it like vibrant and enticing. I want to make the users to like feel hungry when they like look at all these images. I feel like right now, like this image in the background, it's not that appetizing. But yeah, and so I did have a question about like just to confirm that this site it can be used for this project because their main call to action is an order online button. And so it takes the user to like an Uber Eats, like third party site. So would that count as e-commerce technically, or would I be able to use it for this project as like a professional service?
Yeah, you still can. I mean, you know, it's that doesn't bother me at all. I mean, that's just a separate action because not everybody want to order online.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that would be like the main call to action for the user then. And then I'd also maybe want to like, yeah, highlight their location and like their information and maybe like have a like sign up for a newsletter button to like showcase any updates or like featured items they might have that week or something like that.
Yeah, because I could see with this, I would immediately put order online up in the top nav. Like immediately. Like that would be a main call to action in the top nav and not necessarily having it in the feature. That area could be saved for like, you know, making you hungry or feeling the connection with, you know, with the owners or telling a little bit of a story that makes this place unique. So, and then you could save that call to action of ordering online up to up at the top.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that sounds good.
We'll get into all that later.
Okay.
But this has made me hungry.
Yeah. Thanks.
Great.
Yeah, we were also talking about like adding testimonials too, or maybe like I could find some reviews on Yelp and like highlighting that somewhere.
Sure. Excellent. I'm going to jump to room 4 now. I'll talk to you later. And if you're done, then just take a break and just log back. Make sure you're back at 2:40. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Later.
Thanks.
Uh-oh.
Boo.
No more shit talking the professors.
Are you already done?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think most people are kind of wrapping it up already. All right. Well, then questions for me while I'm here.
We were kind of curious on if we're like rebranding the actual logo as well.
I would have to. I don't think so. I don't think we're doing that for this project. Let me double check here. No, not now. For week 2, we're going to talk about responsive design next week. We're going to talk about web typography, wireframes, heroes section, rules for better web. No, I don't. No, not. We're not redesigning the brand. Yeah, the brand elements. You're just kind of taking what's already there and improving on them, but not the logo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will we have like breakdown or tutorials on how to use Figma?
I posted something on Canvas for you to kind of research. There's a lot of tutorials out there. I mean, I don't know if we'll have the time for me to actually try to go through and teach Figma. I usually don't do that in classes because there's just not enough time to kind of teach all the programs. I really have to kind of, leverage your own time and your own abilities to look into it. I don't think it's a very difficult program to learn depending on your own abilities, but there's a lot of tutorials out there.
Okay.
A lot of videos on YouTube, but if you because I forgot which student, I think it was Melinda, she had posted in one of the conversations on Canvas, and I had posted a link in there.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff out there to research.
Cool.
Any other questions? No. Everybody feels like they're doing good on the questionnaire and the company they chose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Everybody's feeling confident. Awesome. Okay. Well, look, then just take a break. I'm going to jump into one more room, see how they're doing, and you can just kind of get to know each other or take a break before 2:40.
Okay, cool.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
That like website address for just the tenants versus the, I guess, people looking for houses, prospective. Oh, okay.
It'd be like what Paul was talking about, or Professor Drohan, in the
You can call me Paul. It's okay.
okay, in the lecture about how like whenever the windows concept or like the doors, and there's many ways into the website, and so if you're the tenant, then if you click on the tenant piece, it'll bring you into that, and then the homepage could be more based towards like the people that are looking to lease those places.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that was my thoughts exactly, was have that split, like that fork in the road somewhere towards the very beginning. Landlords or property owners click here, tenants click here. Or
Okay.
something to that effect.
Okay. Yeah. Make it like super simple.
Super simple and obvious. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Paul, I'm so glad you're here. So we just ran into something interesting on my website that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it looks like mine has. I'm glad you're
sorry,
laughing.
man. These guys are hilarious. Attorneys are so funny, man. They're just so...
Yeah, we definitely talked about this.
Oh my goodness, what a laugh. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you. I have mine on full screen, and so you'll notice the nav doesn't change, and it's not responsive, right? Like we talked about. But Yoseb shared his screen when he was visiting this website, and his actually had the main nav when he was at full screen. So that's not, I never would have known that was an issue if he didn't say that.
Yeah, that's probably just bad coding.
Okay.
Yeah, probably just not real, like we talked about, true responsive coding. Who knows? It might be like a WordPress site or something like that, real basic, or they might have forked out the budget to, do a custom site. I'd have to spend some time with it and look at it.
I see.
But yeah, it's just not built well.
Gotcha.
Are you going to keep that magnificent photo on the homepage?
I don't think so.
Attorneys love, man, they love taking photos of themselves with their arms crossed. It's just such a typical thing. I'm in charge. I'm in charge.
Yes, exactly. And they're while they're staring you down.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's it's so funny.
I was actually talking to Marie is doing a law firm as well.
Oh, good.
About like I'm unsure about what imagery to use and what,
So
I have no
in
idea.
team one, well, the group one, somebody else is doing a law firm, and it's more around like this personal injury.
Mhm.
And we were kind of talking about that, and one thing that she had identified as her target audience, she said her target audience was like 36 to 60-year olds. And I asked her why. And she said, she was like, well, I don't think that like people in their 20s are really like hiring attorneys. I go, well, then that's an opportunity, right? Um, so it kind of depends on what the attorney or what the agency specializes in. And I feel like the tone, um, because I'm just going to talk about hers. When you think of personal injury, you could go several ways with sort of the tone. And the tone is the most important thing, right? When it comes to especially these attorney websites. Are is the law firm presenting themselves as this aggressive powerhouse, right? Like, we win all the time and we're going to maximize, like, da, 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 we're going to tear them up and spit them out kind of thing. Or are you, or what's the tone of it? So I think that's one of the most important things you identifying is what is the tone of the firm and what is their main sort of like target audience and their expertise.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I was thinking too that, it's personal injury and business litigation. So it could be so not really an age group, I don't think, but yeah, I was thinking, do you think that like just imagery of like normal lives, a little bit of nature, a little bit of, people doing normal things, a little bit of
Because there's the typical attorney way of going, right, the photo of them, like, we're in charge and we're powerhouses and we're gonna tear them up kind of thing, right? Then there's also the stats, the testimonials and how much we can get you. Here's some examples of people that have won $1.7 million, right? They do that too. I mean, that's what you're going to have to identify. There's definitely an opportunity to be able to present a law firm in a different tone, in a different manner, where it can be more thoughtful and more like a partner, trusted partner. And yes, we have results for sure, like but you're going to have to identify what that tone is going to be. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to, that's the challenge. That's definitely the challenge.
I really appreciate that. That's very helpful.
Yeah, and then one thing I want to make sure, because after we're done with these breakout sessions, hold on, no, we are not here to redesign their logos and stuff. I hope you guys know that too, right? Did you know that? Like yeah, so we're not here to redesign like the main brand elements like the logo. So I'm going to make sure that whenever we hop back into the main class, that I identify that you're not here to spend time redesigning their logo. Because again, that's real world. I mean, that's 100%. You have to deal with it. That is their logo. You got to deal with it, and you have to solve for the website. You're not solving for the brand. I believe the next project you're gonna be redoing the logo.
That's good to know.
What was that?
That's good to know because I wasn't sure if we were doing just like the website layout itself or like kind of all of it or
Just the website. Yeah, we're just focusing on the website.
One less thing to do in my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it. So.
Yeah, so I'm going to make sure I make a point of that. Don't let me forget to mention that to the entire class. Because yeah, that's not the point of this project. Cool. Any other things here?
I have a question.
Yes.
So if we're gonna do the motion on the website, how can we show it in like our not UI kit, but the blueprint?
Well, I mean, you're not going to be developing the motion, but if you have like, you know, if it's important to you to sort of represent that there's going to be motion on it, just do basic storyboards. Like, you know, just kind of, but don't spend a lot of time on that kind of stuff, okay? You know, just because it's not really important for this project to be getting deep into representing like motion. You know, we're trying to take, you know, like certain steps. Maybe you kind of get a little more into that in the second project, but I'd rather you focus more on the core fundamentals of the project than worrying about motion. Okay?
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for saying that. Bringing that up. Good questions. Again, great questions.
I had a question that I was talking about when you came into our group. So mine is a like property management company, but they specialize in like they have a bunch of properties for like people looking for apartments, but they also like manage properties. So it's for like tenant, the target audiences would be like tenants looking to pay rent or file a maintenance request or like get in contact with their property manager. And then there's also the other audience, which is like looking for houses and well, like apartments and wanting to look at the properties that they have available under that property manager. So I was just wondering if you had any ideas for how to like set up the homepage for both of those audiences to make it like accessible.
100%. I can relate to that because I actually have properties that I rent out, and all the sites I've seen out there are just absolutely horrible. They're just terrible. So yeah, I think we would definitely I would love to like help you kind of concept that, because as a property owner, there's so many things that are important as a property owner when you go to that part. And you know, but I like the idea that you already mentioned, because again, you know, we talk about, like you said, Marie, the house with multiple doors. Like whenever I search, I'm going to search so-and-so property, you know, login, like owner login, and that's going to take me to that landing page. Again, I probably won't even see the home page.
Yeah.
Right? I want to go directly to that. I don't need to go to the home page. So yeah, we're going to talk about that because most likely there'll be, for a property owner, there'll be a login, immediate login, or like emergency contact info or something like that, right? It's just real bite-sized, very, very simple actions. Like, and that's what you're going to have to identify. What are the immediate call to actions on those landing pages? Now, for a tenant, they're going to want to go to that page, and let's say it's just is it a San Diego company?
Yeah.
Okay. So, excuse me. Got too excited. I would assume that what you're going to want to see is you're going to need to identify where you want to live, or just cost. There might be two like drop downs where it says choose neighborhood or choose budget. And that could be the very first call to actions. And then under that, it could be tenant contact information for emergencies, like for plumbing or blah, 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 you know, something like that. But keep those landing pages very, very simple. And also a login for a tenant, because I would assume with some of these, you may need to log into your profile to pay your bill. That also might be one, pay bill.
Okay.
So there's quite a few that we're going to need to sort of kind of talk about, especially whenever we get into the wireframing stage. But that's where that Hellman Curtis quote is so relevant, is you're starting to identify what are the core actions.
Okay.
And they are very different for a tenant and a property owner.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. Absolutely. Good one.
So
All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this out because we only got 3 minutes left and it takes a couple of minutes, okay? and it's going to kick us over to the main class.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Let me see here. Close all rooms. All right. It usually 60 seconds. Hello, everyone. Hold on one second. Whoa. In there. Well, welcome back, everyone. I thought that went very well. Huh?
It did.
Yeah, okay.
Sure did.
Yes, okay. Anybody else? Went well?
As go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. It was helpful, yes.
Okay.
I'm curious, as we move forward in the project and develop our ideas more, will we continually meet with a different group, or will we focus in with one group to hone in on our ideas?
So both. So Caroline, you've been assigned to a team, and what I expect is that, you and your team are working sort of maybe even outside of the class to collaborate, or even, during classes. But during these breakout sessions, these are always going to be with new people. It's always going to be different. But the teams themselves are going to probably stay throughout the project. Something came up in two of this breakout sessions that I jumped into, and I want to clarify this, make sure that everybody understands we are not redesigning the logo. That is not the purpose of this assignment. Okay? Not redesigning the logo. Minnow? Is that how you say your name?
Yeah, it's Meta.
Minnow. Okay.
Yeah, about that, I mean, you said you don't want to, but like let's say we have the time and or whatever, and we wanted to, can we do it? Or just don't touch it at all?
Yeah, don't touch it at all, because again, this is a real world scenario, Minnow. This is a common thing that your client has come to you, they've asked you to help them redesign their website, and their sister designed the logo for them, and they're in love with the logo. Love, right? They love it. There's no way they'd ever change it. And so that's just not a part of this assignment. If you have extra time, put that extra time into the assignment. Yeah. So, Bree, can you expand on that, please?
I was just saying, I think a lot of us who are also taking branding and packaging like concurrently right now, we're getting the projects confused because they're kind of the same project right now, but his is like doing the logo and the website, and then ours is like just the website. So I keep like going from class to class, like, wait, which one am I doing right now?
Yeah, and that's a good point, because that is a branding class, and that's definitely the purpose of it. But I believe our next project, you will be tackling the logo. But for this project, there's already a lot of new things to learn, and I do not feel at all that you should be tackling the logo. Again, real world scenario, like you just have to deal with it. You gotta put it there, you gotta work with it, and you gotta work with the other brand elements. And also introduce, like we had one of the breakout sessions we talked about, also looking at an alternative color palette. So, Melinda.
So would you say it's like the layout and the color is basically what we're focusing on?
And typography.
And type. Okay. So like those 3 key points.
It's just the logo. You're not going to redesign the logo. The other brand elements are up for grabs. So when it comes to the colors, the fonts, the imagery, you can change those up based off of your recommendations, but we're not here to tackle the logo. Does everybody clearly understand? Okay, good. Yeah, it's a very, very common thing, everyone, that you're just, because here's the thing. Everything's an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity. No matter how bad it is, everything's an opportunity. So in the real world, let's say, is it Janet? I believe you have the sandwich shop, right? Right.
Yeah, that was me.
Yes, exactly, Carl. Make it real small. Exactly. But take, for instance, like I'm just going to use you as an example because I remember the sandwich shop. Their logo is, I don't believe, very good at all. So the opportunity that you have is you're going to redesign this website. It's going to look great, right? And then they're going to see how you're such an amazing designer and that their logo it's not up to par now with the website. So in the real world, what could happen is that becomes a separate project that you get paid to do now that they've seen all the great work you did on the website. So you see how you can turn it into an opportunity? So, cool. All right, we're going to pause there because next is assignment. Yeah, so this is a lot for us to go through. So I want to pause on that. We're going to take a 15-minute break and everybody come back at 3 o'clock, okay? All right, see you later. Okay, we'll give it another minute here. Everybody see my screen okay? Yeah. Give it one more minute. I'm curious about something. Do you prefer these remote classes or do you prefer on-campus classes?
Remote.
Yeah, okay.
Remote.
Remote, good.
Remote, but sometimes you gotta go in person.
Yeah, yeah.
Both.
Both, yeah.
More remote, but like I think like one on campus class a week kind of helps just check in and get stuff done if you need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of that way for me too. Like, it definitely is less of a time commitment for me. So, back in the day, I had to teach at night after a very long day of working. So luckily the City College was close to my work because the building I worked in was right next to Petco Park overlooking it. So it wasn't too far away, but still is a big time commitment. So okay, let's get started. Assignment 2. You have completed your creative questionnaire, and if you haven't, please complete it. I was also told that you submit your assignment, your creative questionnaire through Canvas, and I was told that you do that by who told me that? Who was that?
I believe that was me.
You, Mark?
Yeah.
Can you help at least refresh my memory, but also let the rest of the class know how you normally submit projects for assignments?
Yeah, well, compared to the other classes I've been in, the professor will create a submission area on Canvas,
Okay.
and then you'll enter that as the student, and then upload your file. And usually, depending on what it is, there will be like a link you can paste to your Figma, or if it's like required to be a PDF, that's up to the professor usually to require how you want to do that. But
Sure.
yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. But what I'll do is I'll have to go into Canvas. Minna, go ahead.
Yeah, another thing I noticed about this class as well too is that when you because I'm big on like Canvas calendar and it posts like all assignments that's upcoming, but when it comes to this class, it doesn't seem to be there. I would have to like manually go into the class and go to assignments and submit it that way. I'm I'm just used to being in the calendar. If it can't be fixed, I don't know how
Well,
they do it.
yeah, I haven't even interacted in the calendar yet. So that's a good one. So if
I don't
I
know for sure, but I wonder if when you create the assignment, if there's a click button that says publish to calendar. Just a guess.
Okay, gotcha. And I do see, I'm still kind of getting used to this Canvas thing, everyone. So, we're in our second week. I just noticed that I have an inbox and there's 4 messages I haven't read. I wasn't ignoring you. I just didn't know that that was there. Okay. I can see, yeah, Sam, Precious, Janet, and Lizandro, you all sent me messages and I didn't even see them. Just getting used to it. So, as far as the calendar goes, let me look at my version. I guess. Okay, I can see it now. So, Menno, I can see that I can add an assignment to the calendar. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was just brought it up because I think it's
That's a
very
good one.
helpful. Yeah,
That's a good one.
I don't know, maybe for everyone else, but yeah, it's useful to just go on the calendar to see what's due and it aligns it with where it needs to be to the date, the time, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
No,
my
I
other
think
questions.
that's an
Yeah,
excellent recommendation because I had literally just created a Word doc today that's got sort of a calendar approach to it. But I agree, like, if this calendar is useful, then I'll see about trying to get this stuff into the calendar too, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I will always try to do what I can to make it easier on everybody. All right, so let me go back. Give me a second here. Okay, so now let's get back to our assignment. Research and strategy. What we're going to be covering, you're going to be doing, this is a big one. It's a big assignment. You're going to be evaluating the existing website. You're going to do an audit of the existing website. You're going to be doing desktop and mobile. You're going to do a competitive analysis. Then you're going to do a mood board, sitemap, and explaining components. So this is due next week. I'll double check. Because it is a lot, I'll probably make it due on the Wednesday. Let me look at this real quick. So that would be like the 19th. So you have over a week to do this. So let me just write that down. It's going to be due February 19th. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the document or the Figma file that Bradford had provided me for you to use. So this is what you're going to end up doing is, right, you're going to end up duplicating this, just like you did the creative questionnaire, duplicate and create your own and start fleshing this out. And so for some of you that I know are getting used to Figma, this is going to be another good step for you to get to know Figma. It's a pretty basic file. You're gonna have to come in here and, of course, edit text, right? You're gonna have to put images in, learn how to put images in down here like this, choosing images, putting those in. Or what you can also do is you can take screenshots and copy and paste them directly into Figma. Sometimes that's easier. Sometimes that's what I do. Like I'll have the browser open. I'll just take a screenshot of it and copy it and paste it right into Figma. So it just kind of depends on what's the easiest workflow for you. I saw some questions come in here, but I submitted my questions through assignments. Is that right? Sam. So Sam, I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't have an answer for you yet, okay? So, anyways, let's get back over here to this. So what you're going to be doing is, this is the existing website audit. You're going to be taking screenshots of the desktop and the core pages that you're going to be doing. So, you know, if it's like the home page and then a services page or an about page or something, do as many as you can, okay? And, you know, you can see how this is how I end up doing it. This is the entire page. So this is on ice experience. And then what I did was I duplicated it and zoomed in on it. So you can see here, this is all the same page, but this is showing the entire page, and this is kind of zooming in on the different sections. So that's how I do it. So you're going to have to do your core pages, the ones that you're going to redesign, and then any additional page that's helpful. So just do as many here as possible. I just did, like, you know, I already gave you 3 screens, but do 4 screens if you need 4 screens, like do whatever. But you also have to do a mobile version. So you can see here, I did a mobile version of the homepage. The homepage is really, really long for the Apex hockey site. So you can see here, I didn't do, because mobile is always really, really long, right? I didn't do what I call a bird's eye view to show the entire, you know, page and how long it is. I just chopped it up here. And a couple of things that I showcased was the fixed nav, or it's called a reveal fixed nav. So here's the top portion, you know, in mobile, right? Here's the top feature area. You can see your, what we call a hamburger menu, or just, you know, a mobile menu. You got the logo, but then as you scroll through this website, that navigation goes away. But then when you scroll up on that website, it slides down and reveals itself on mobile and desktop. So that's called a sticky nav and a reveal sticky nav. So you can see here in the other sections that I took screenshots, you don't see the nav because I didn't scroll up. So it goes away as you're scrolling down, but then when you do a quick scroll up, it reveals itself. So if you have your phone in front of you, it might be best just to show, just so you see exactly what I'm talking about, is, I'll get to you in 1 second, okay, Melinda? So if you, on your phone, if you pull up the apx-hockey.com, whoops, not ape, apx. You'll see on mobile how that navigation is fixed or sticky up at the top, but it does go away when you start scrolling down. But then if you do a quick scroll up, you see how it appears. And I also did it where it's intentional that it has that color behind the navigation. So no matter what type of content that's behind that nav, it's not going to interfere with the readability of that main navigation. Make sense? Yeah. So Melinda, yeah, go for it. You had a question.
Could you spell the word like sticky nav, and then what was the other term for
Sure,
it?
yeah. I'm going to do it right here. So it's kind of a slang term, sticky nav, or also fixed nav. So they're, you know, fixed nav is definitely a lot more, right, professional, but you'll also hear people use the term sticky nav. It's a little more of a slang term. But in this case, this is also called a fixed reveal nav, because it goes away when you're scrolling down, but then when you scroll up, it reveals itself.
So
And
the
that was intentional.
So then what's the difference between the fixed revealed nav and the sticky nav?
So they're all the same. So you can do a couple of things. When it's this sticky or fixed nav, it can always be present. Like it doesn't go away. So you can have an option and you can talk to a developer. So if you're working with a developer here, in this case, Squarespace allows you to choose between the two. You can have your navigation always present, where it's fixed at the top, or you can select it to make it go away and reveal based off of scrolling. So you do have options. Does that help you with your answer? Good. Excellent. All right. So those are important things to point out when you're doing your website audit. I doubt that from a lot of the websites I've seen, based off of what you're doing, you probably don't have any websites that actually have that type of, intuitive navigation. So it might be something that you might want to whenever you redesign it, possibly put it in there. So yeah, do as many, as many screenshots as you possibly can. Yes, Carl.
For those mobile screenshots, how did you get those?
Two ways. I usually just resize my browser to a mobile size, and because I'm working on my laptop, so most of the time I'll just resize my browser down to mobile, take a screenshot and copy it and drop it right in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how. So here, I'll show you real quick. Let's see here.
That seems much more efficient than taking a screenshot on mobile, sending it to yourself, and
Way more
to the
efficient. So I'm gonna show you literally right now what I'm gonna do. So you don't see my browser, but I'm doing my command shifts. Command Control Shift 4. Command Control Shift 4 allows you to get your little, your little crosshairs, and you can drag, select, and what it does is you can hear that little camera, and then, whoops, come on. I just, bam, paste it right there, just like that. That's how easy it can be. I resize it, and there you go. And then what let's say I want to see the nav. I'm doing my Command Control Shift 4. You could hear that little ding ding, and size it down. Yeah, yes, Melinda, there you go. So look at it. Look how quick I did that on my own website. I did a screenshot, but when you do Command Control Shift 4, it allows you to measure it out, and it copies it on your clipboard, and you're able to just paste it directly into Figma. That's the way I do it. It's really fast and efficient. Melinda, yeah, go for it.
Is there a specific dimension that's standard for mobile?
No, there's not really, because everybody has kind of a different mobile device. So you might have a small one and somebody else might have a big old Pro iPhone 16 Pro Max, right? Or what's even crazier, what about the ones that flip open? Does anybody have that phone? You do, Joshua? You have that phone?
Wait, which phone?
The phones that open up like a book.
Oh, not yet, but I'm actually suggested I get one.
Oh man. I mean, again, so Melinda, like that's a good question, because we're in the world of all different of screen sizes, and screen sizes can be so different. Like somebody with a phone like that could probably look at the website like in a traditional size format and then open it up, and now it's like big and wide. So that's why the next lecture next week around responsive design, it's so critical to be able to design in a responsive way because we're in the world of a million different screens. So there's not really a specific. Now, when you're designing in Figma, so let's see here real quick. When you're designing in Figma, do you see what just popped up whenever I selected my tool down here at the bottom? I selected frame. Everybody, please pay attention to this too, okay? So if I don't see your video, make sure you're watching this. I'm teaching you a little something in Figma. You go down here and you select frame, okay? Now what it does is it opens up this side panel and it gives you presets. Okay, Melinda, so like, you know, what you said is a good question. So let's say you're going to come over here, you're going to select phone and you have presets for your frame to be able to start designing. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which that is a standard size of 440 by 956. Boom. It did it, but it did it in a horizontal fashion because I believe what it is this document. It has a preset of being landscape. Wait, let me try that one again. So go here. There you go. Now it did it. I just didn't click it right. So you see how the frame, I had selected iPhone 16 Pro Max and it dropped it already into my layers as a frame. So that's how you create frames in Figma. You have presets. You can, boom, you can come over here. You can do desktop, MacBook Pro 16, whatever, you know, boom. There's your MacBook Pro 16. Yes, Kristen?
Yeah, it's Kristen.
Kristen, gotcha. All right, Kristen, yes.
I actually had a question just about since like that document that you have there is multiple pages. I'm like pretty new to Figma too. My creative questionnaire ended up being 2 pages. I can't figure out how to export both the pages as a PDF so that I can turn it in.
Sure.
Show me how to do that.
I'll show you. Give me a second here. Creative questionnaire, blah, blah. Creative questionnaire. Okay. I'm going to select, right? Just like this, right? Got 2 pages.
Okay, actually, for mine, I like duplicated the page. I don't actually know what I did. I guess, but it shows up that I have in the pages column, it has 2.
Yeah, you mean the layers column.
No, it says in like where it's in the pages part. There's like a questionnaire, and then I
Okay,
think
that's why you can't export it because you created 2 pages versus layers.
oh, so I'm supposed to. Oh, you do the
Right.
okay, the
Yeah, so
option.
yeah, so just fix it, create
Okay.
2 layers, okay? And then what you can do is just select both of the layers. You see at the very bottom of your side panel where it says export?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where you're going to end up doing it over here. You got PDF, export 2 layers, and you're able to export it like that. You just click the export.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Yeah, you won't be able to do it that quick if you create individual pages.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on there. Thanks.
It's okay. Yeah, it's cool. So, okay. So I just taught you guys a couple of things here real quick in Figma. Somebody said shortcut. Shortcut, what, my key commands for that? Is that what you meant, Bree?
Yeah, key command for frame is F, right?
Okay, so for frame or for you to take a screenshot?
For frame.
Oh, for frame, the shortcut is F. You just go F, just like that. Yes, Carl, yes, you said it. I see it now. Good job. Right. It's just F. But you're to take a screenshot, it's Command, Control, Shift, 4. And it gives you your little crosshairs that you're then able to drag and take a screenshot of whatever's on your screen, and it copies it, and then you're able to just paste it, paste it into your document. All right, so I'm going to delete these guys. Okay, so let's get down to navigation. I put a note in here. This is a requirement. So just so you know, for you new Figma people here, if you go to, if you're looking at it this way, you can go to that little comment, and where is it? Is it not in here? It's not showing it. Well, fine then. I guess it's not showing it then, but it shows it here in my document. So you see this little bubble here? Click on that, and you can see that I put, when you're doing navigation, you got to do it again for desktop and mobile, but make sure that you are showcasing primary navigation, secondary navigation, and the footer for both desktop and mobile. And you can see here, this is my primary nav. My secondary nav is that I have rolled over the About drop down, and it has given me this mega nav. Most of your sites don't have mega navs. It probably just has a regular drop down, just like that. But what it looks like on mobile here is, I've clicked on the mobile icon for menu. It slides in and shows me my main nav. Then I click on About, and then it shows the next level down, the secondary nav. If I wanted to show the footer, the footer is going to be a little different, because especially on this website, my footer is really large. So it's going to be here, right? Oh, and then second. No, we're not doing no, I'm not teaching how to do functional sites in this class. We're just here just to kind of create the strategy, the UX, and the design. So that's the footer for the APX website. So I just took screenshots of that. And that's, again, most of you won't have big, like a big footer like that. But then again, I think I did see one of those attorney sites that somebody, or the health site. I think, I forgot who it was, Ezekiel, it might have been you, that you had that health site. And I believe the footer on that health site was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're gonna need to showcase that, okay?
Okay.
So there you go. Let me get rid of that. All right. Navigation. So hold on for a second. Give me a second here. Okay, so that's everything in the pages. Here's the pages, right? So that's just existing website audit. The next, if you notice over here under pages versus layers. So this is, again, I forgot who said it. You have to click on where it says competitive analysis over here under pages. So there's existing website. That's all the stuff you got to do for the existing website. Then you click on competitive analysis. And now you got to do your competitive analysis. And you got to do screenshots of those and outline key learnings. So I went ahead, I just put in the APX hockey website, and that's all you need to do is just a couple of screenshots. You don't need to do a whole bunch for your competitors. Just do a few, and then just complete sort of your analysis of your competitors. And I believe you need to do yes, you need to do 3 competitors. Sam, yes.
Do you want the screenshots of like the mobile or of their actual website?
Well, are you talking about their website on your mobile device?
Well, or the desktop website.
I mean, you do what's best for the competitors. I'm not gonna require you to show desktop and mobile for your competitors. Just at least show one of the two and then just talk about them. What's more important is the existing website audit that you're doing the desktop, the mobile, and the navigation. That's far more important than doing the desktop and the mobile for the competitors, okay? So it's going to be up to you. Maya, yes.
For the competitors, we kind of did like a competitive analysis and like the branding and packaging class as well. And we included brands that were similar, but also ones that were like aspirational. Did you want us to include one that was like had branding or like a web flow that we wanted to kind of be like?
I think that's a very good point. Yeah, absolutely do that if you feel like that helps you out. Okay. So I think that's a really good recommendation of, it just kind of depends, right? It's a competitor that has a better website or might have an equal site or might have a really horrible site, so that's going to be up to you what helps you best. Excellent. So for these, the key learnings, you could talk about, go back to our previous lectures. You could talk about the design, whether the design is good or bad, it's intuitive, whether the user experience is a good user experience or a bad user experience, whether it's a responsive site or not a responsive site. So it's really up to you to kind of flesh out as much of the key learnings for your competitors that you can get in here. The more, the better. All right. Next is mood board. So I've kind of showed an example here. I threw in just kind of stuff. So the mood board, I broke it up. I was trying to make it more specific versus what Bradford had in here. He just had mood board. I feel like that like the way that I usually approach projects, and I also require my team to do it when they're doing mood boards, is to do them in categories. So if you notice up here, I have 3 different mood boards. I have websites. Then you can do brands. And then just miscellaneous. Like, you don't have to do miscellaneous if you don't want to, but definitely have 2 mood boards that include websites that you're inspired by and also brands that you're inspired by. And then, if you just got extra stuff that you like, then just maybe drop it in this one. But make it look pro. You can see here, I could have put more in here, of course, but I was just trying to show an example of how you could do a quick little mood board. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? Carl, yes.
When you say about the brands that we're inspired by, like I'm doing the law firm, right? But I wouldn't really have a mood board with like a bunch of Nike and like I don't know, like the album artwork that's behind me and stuff like that, that doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think Metallica makes a lot of sense for a law firm, but what could make sense is maybe a different, like, maybe it's a very conservative but aspirational brand out there. They're like, oh, I really like what they did here. I'm going to drop that in here because I like the typography of this brochure. Or I like, it could be anything, but it's very like specific to brands. So
Okay,
yeah,
so
it could be colors and type or just a layout of a print material. It could be any of that stuff.
gotcha. So I'll have to get out there and like find them, not just pull them off the top of my head because I like them.
Correct. So, remember some of those research websites, but there's another one that I put in our presentation here.
Yes, I do.
Cosmos. But Cosmos is also a really, really cool research site that you could just find cool stuff that's inspiring that could relate to like your assignment. Does that answer your question?
Totally. Thank you.
Good. Anybody else before we move on? Okay, good. All right, then next, you're gonna have to do a site map. So you're gonna have to do an existing site map, and then you're gonna have to do a proposed site map. So what that means is if you have some suggestions around getting rid of pages, consolidating pages, right? Or adding pages. I think basically like when you're kind of looking at sort of the whole of the entire experience, you might find redundancies in certain pages that you might just want to consolidate into a section. So that's the purpose of that. And then finally, this section here is components. I'm gonna have to talk to Bradford about this one. I don't know if you guys are ready for this, personally. I think we got enough on our plate for this assignment that I think I might get rid of these components, but I'm going to talk to him first because it seems really, really detailed at this point, and I almost would rather save this more for UX than this research phase. So I'm gonna put a maybe on this, with a high possibility that this is going to be moved to the UX phase. Okay, so I'm not going to, in our next class, I'll have an answer for you. You know? So on Wednesday, I'll have an answer for you. I just don't think that this is necessary at this level. I just think it's just not necessary. All right, so that completes assignment 2. Like I said, it's a lot. That's why we have until February 19th to finish this. So do not procrastinate. I highly recommend, if you haven't finished your creative questionnaire, you need to have that done today or tomorrow so you can start on this next assignment right away. Because it's a lot. All right, so next week, like I mentioned, and I'll put the date in here, I'll update this, February 19th, this assignment is due. And then here's some extra stuff that I added in here. So if you're interested in some AI talk, there's a free AI live talk on, when is it again? Give me a second here. The link has it. It's February 13th. So it's 8 a.m. February 13th. and it is for. So it's Welcome to AI Live, the podcast from Artificial Inspiration. Each week we bring you the latest updates on generative AI as they relate to marketers, but it's more than just a podcast. It's a fully interactive experience. So if you're interested, click on the link. It takes you to LinkedIn and it has more information. Cosmos is a cool sort of creative feed that you can, kind of similar to some of the other ones, you can type in subjects and you can get results based off those subjects. You can create a profile that also allow you to sort of focus on certain interests. Talk to a creative director is something that I have been invited to participate in, and it's kind of cool because it's a forum where you can be a mentor, so you can sign up, and let's say it literally on the homepage has got a list of creative directors that you can talk to based off their expertise, whether they're a copywriter, a art director, a design director, or a designer, and it literally has a list of these people, and I'll be on there soon, that you can book time to talk to. So it's really cool. It's somewhat free. I think it's completely free. Let's see here. I'm just going to click on one. And when you click on them, it brings up their profile. And it also brings up their calendar. So might be helpful to everybody at some point. That's cool. And that's it. So before I move on, questions? Everybody completely understands? 100% understands everything? Good. That means I explained myself really well. So that's awesome. Okay. Well, then, since there's no questions about assignment 2 and no questions about some of this, then we're going to end the class early. Design is a plan for arranging elements in such a way as best to accomplish a particular purpose. Very similar to what Hillman Curtis mentioned as well, having purpose, having an action. Charles Eames, again, he's just such a legacy of a creative. He was just he truly had a lot of great words of wisdom. I highly recommend anybody that appreciates a well-rounded creative to look up Charles and Ray Eames. They were a powerhouse for creatives. So there was a couple of questions here. Yeah, Marie, he said, I need time to process everything we went over. Yes. I feel like I'll have more questions once I start trying to work with Figma. Yes, I can understand. I do understand. So good. Yeah, it is a lot. A lot. So again, that's the purpose of the teams. Please reach out to your teams. When you start getting into stuff here, reach out to them, ask them questions, collaborate, go meet for coffee, meet in person. God, who knows? But yeah, collaborate, ask questions. We're going to regroup on Wednesday. So if you have some questions about this assignment on Wednesday, be ready to talk about it. I'd love to see some progress on Wednesday of this assignment, okay? And if you didn't have your creative questionnaire completed today, then I am going to require you to share it with me on Wednesday. All right. So that's that. If we don't have any other questions, then great. You bet, Carl. And we're going to go ahead and end class early and let everybody sort of absorb this. And then on Wednesday, I'm sure people will have questions. So have a great day, have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You betcha.
See you Wednesday.
All right, see ya.
Mm.